Hey y'all, hey, welcome
Hello.
back. How y'all doing?
Happy Sunday, YouTube land, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. What's happening?
Yeah.
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday.
I
Happy
thought you were
Sunday.
gonna do it again. What up, dude?
I gotta flip the script every now and then.
Oh, okay. You can't make you predictable.
I'm a Gemini, so you got multiple personalities here. You don't know who you gonna get.
That's a good point you make there.
Hey, let's start the day off giving my mom a shout out for her 81st birthday today. Happy
Birthday,
birthday to
mama.
her.
Yes.
Yeah,
81.
81 today, yo.
That's a
Wow.
blessing.
It
That's
is.
a blessing to live that long. And it's like, do we want to all be that long?
If I
Live
could
to
take
be
care of
that long?
myself,
If you
yeah.
can take care of yourself.
I could take
And
care of
I was
myself. And, I don't mind having to have somebody to live with, but if I could still give myself a shower, still brush my teeth, comb, you know what I'm saying? If I can still do that, then I'm cool. I ain't running. I stay to
running.
103.
Okay, 103. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I be thinking about that. Do I wanna when do I want and how do I want to do this?
I want to stay as long as I'm functionable. You know what I'm saying? That I can take care of, and yeah, yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Mhm.
All right. Well, let's see. I think we're gonna have a great, interesting show today. Um, this Tuesday is a lot going on in the world, but Tuesday is the birthday of Malcolm X. And so we wanted to take some time to talk about Malcolm X, the man, the statement, the movement, what he stood for, and all those things, and really how what he stood for and things he said, how they are coming to pass today with the Voting Rights Act being gutted and things like that. Like, does his words still ring? Is prevalent the word I'm looking for?
Resonate.
Mhm. Resonate. Do we still resonate with his words? So yes, here we are 60 some odd years later. Um, so first I want to ask Anthony, because he's the one came up with this idea. Then think about that. Do you feel like his words still resonate today?
Oh, absolutely. I think Malcolm poignantly pointed out the hypocrisy of America and its democracy. He was bold faced, the bold rhetoric about being the devil, the evil that they have done to us as a race in this country. No other black leader or black voice at that particular time was saying that. Now, Elijah Muhammad may have been saying it, but Malcolm really brought it to mainstream media. And
Mhm.
he started getting a lot of attention nationwide as well as worldwide. And Malcolm was an
Mhm.
eloquent speaker and an intelligent guy. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he wasn't a great speaker. I think he had a speech impairment. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, and he wasn't as educated. But that's not to discount him or dismiss him. But I think Malcolm's eloquency was able to bring it to a larger audience than the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was. So yeah, he was definitely a voice of one crying out in the wilderness.
Yeah. What's crazy is doing my little digging and research. I think one of my favorite I will say a quote, but because I don't know it word for word, I'm gonna summarize it up. But he said, I don't want to be looked at as a Muslim man. I am a man. I'm a black movement, black revolution. Because if
Mm,
we need to take our religion out of it, because if we don't, we can never come together. Again, I'm summing that up in my words, but pretty much, to me that pointed out and that pointed out that we do have to separate church and state if we want to get somewhere.
mm-hmm.
And because as long as we say I'm a Baptist, I'm a Christian, I'm this, I'm that, there's going to be something to fight about, and we can never get to the bottom line.
Right.
So, reading that and listening to that speech, and that speech is the ballot or the bullet. Um, that stood out to me big time in that because I'm like, dang, like when we act does it resonate today? That's what we need to be focused on. Let's take this Christian out of it, Christian nationalism, Muslim, take all that stuff out. What we want to be at normal gas prices. Like that's the root of the problem.
It would be
Unfortunately, we're going to be with gas and housing and all that. I don't see any of that coming down. No matter, I don't think that's going to change.
I think it might come down a little bit, but I don't think it's going to happen about taking the religion component out. We,
Mhm.
as a race of people, I think we are spiritually connected like any other on the planet. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, we are stuck in this Eurocentric Christianity. And no matter how much you present with facts that's refuting what grandmama and them told us, they're not going to do it. There's a few uh, what you call people on Facebook and those social media programs or platforms, they do
Mhm.
decolonizing or demystifying Christianity. And so
Mhm.
they bring some facts, but the comments in the comments section, they just, most of them are not going, they want to quote the Bible to refute what they're saying. But these people are bringing facts to dismiss what you think is truth. So I don't think we're ever going to do that because if we're just embedded, we're enslaved to Christianity.
We
Yeah,
are. And that's
yeah.
so horrible because
Some of them are. They really are, and it's bad.
and it's bad because that's the opposite of what I feel. See, here go putting the church in there. But it's the opposite of what I feel like it's supposed to stand for. I feel, you know, we're supposed to be free. You're supposed to have free will. You're supposed to love. You're supposed to do all of these things. But yet Christian nationalism has gotten us in a bind. It's gotten us in this hold. It has us in this place where we can't go nowhere, and it is what it is because they said so. Talking about well, God said He didn't say none of that. It's about
Well,
what
I mean,
20 red
but
words in the
were you
Bible.
there? My thing is, were you there? Do you
That
know?
part.
And we're gonna
That.
go back to Malcolm X. Malcolm X wasn't big on politics. He
Mhm.
even made a statement once before that. He said he would rather trust a conservative. I think that's what he said. At least a liberal. He said a liberal you can't trust, but the conservative, at least you know where they coming from. Some kind of way he put it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
I think
Just
it was the fox and the wolf analogy. I think he
hmm
used that. That
hmm
sly fox, you don't know when he coming, but you know he out there. But the wolf, you know
right,
the wolf is coming
already
to destroy you.
right.
He
And
used
so
that.
I
he
was
said,
just looking at
and his words, it was like you never trust a liberal and you never trust the media.
yes, because they're gonna give you what they want to give you. I
hmm
just I just read that quote that you were talking about, Stacey, and I
hmm
can't find it now because I'm looking for it.
And
But
we
I'm
also,
like, ooh,
and then a lot of people, are just probably finding out in recent years, Malcolm X came out of the streets. He came from a two-parent home where the mother and father, they, of course, they killed his father and they put the mother into a, mental institution or whatever. But, he was in his classroom and was telling the people that he wanted to be a lawyer, and they told him he was never going to be able to do that. So he had to find something else, to do. But he ended up, growing up in the streets in New York, selling drugs, doing drugs, being with the white women and all of that. And then when he got into prison and got into the, the Muslim, he kind of started to see things differently, made a big change.
um, he did. And what's crazy is he was already headed to be that person, and I feel like they
Anyway.
cut him off, and
hmm
so he had to go to prison to really sit still so that
hmm
he could be molded.
So he needed the
What
education that he needed, yeah.
Yes, I think he really needed that because, like you said, he was out in the street, he was doing stuff, he wanted to do something
Yeah.
great, and they just stifled him. Um, I watched. I want to watch it again. I haven't watched it in a while. Denzel and Malcolm, because as we get ready for this show and the little things that I know, I'm like, dang, I think I will understand this scene in the movie better. I think I will. It's like you see things back then 10 years ago when your mind is a little different. It's all entertainment. But then when you grow up and you learn some things, it's like, wait a minute, let me go back and see that. I think I would see it a lot different now. Because I will say the last 10 years growing up and being on this hoorah Black Power movement, I do see a lot of movies, a lot of books, a lot of everything so differently. But I say that to say, thinking about the movie when when he got when he went to prison, and just the transformation, the way he said. Now it made me think about the other movies, Hurricane and da 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 da. Oh, everybody just go to jail and they ain't got nothing else to do but read. It's different, you know. It made me see it different because no, he was really developing into the person he was meant to be.
And what the movie did for me was it let me know that a person that want change, no matter what situation you in, addicted to drugs or whatever, if you make up in your mind that you want to change for yourself to be a better person or a different person, you can. You have to want it. That's what the Malcolm X movie did for me, because he come from a whole lot, and then just now everybody may not have that special oomph, or they might not be the chosen one, or whatever the case may be, but it still shows that we didn't know he was going to go as far as he did, but he made that change and cleaned up his act, you know what I mean? And read the Quran, the Bible, and just, you have to want that change. But if you want it enough, bad enough, you can go get it.
Well, you have to be introduced to it. So if you're not introduced to it, another way of life or thinking, then you won't get it. And I think that's what happened with prison, because he was caught up in the street lifestyle, the hustling, because that was what he knew. And his dreams was shattered as a child, growing up with the murder or death of his dad and the mom being institutionalized, and then going from foster care homes to staying with his older sister Ella, I think in Boston, and then the New York experience. But he also was here in Detroit for a while after, I think, when he became a part of the Nation of Islam, because I think it was on Linwood Street they had a mosque, and Malcolm was over that. And then he lived in Inkster for a period of time, Inkster, Michigan. So he definitely had the Detroit and Metro Detroit roots, because he was born in Omaha, Nebraska. And then they moved to Lansing, Kalamazoo. And then he, again, went to stay with his sister, Ella, in Boston. But the movie was excellent. Spike Lee did do some ad-libbing quite a bit, at least from the book, but that's what they do for entertainment. I advise anyone to read the book. It's a very good book. I think I read that book when I was 19 years old, and I'm 62, 3 now. So it left a really indelible mark in my mind. And I still kind of remember all that stuff today that I read when I was 19 years old. And I did have the privilege of meeting his oldest daughter here in Detroit. She was doing a speaking engagement here at the Charles Wright Museum. And I got a chance to meet her, and only for a few seconds. And she spoke, and that was it. I think her name is Atahala, something like that. And she was very elegant. She's very regal. You see Malcolm all over her. I mean, it's just like he spit and she came out. She is Malcolm's daughter all the way. So it was kind of like in awe to be in her presence. But again, she was a very charming, regal person. And she spoke very well of her dad and her mom. She didn't like the way her mom was sometimes pushed to the side over her dad. But she said her mom was definitely just as important in their lives as their dad. Matter of fact, more, because he died.
Right.
And they were too young. The last two kids she was pregnant with, I think the twins, they didn't even meet. They didn't even meet him.
Nope. That's so sad.
Nope. And then it's amazing because they had 6 girls.
I think 6 girls.
6 girls. Yep. They had 6 girls. I was like, wow. And then he ended up with the one grandson that had trouble. He was trouble. He was a troubled person, and he ended up setting the house on fire and actually killing Betty Shabazz. Well, she didn't die in the fire, but she died later from the wounds and the burns.
Cause of the fire.
So
I wonder if his trouble. I mean, was he troubled in? Because that's something I didn't get a chance to dig into, because when you talk about his daughter being a spitting image of him, I wonder was he troubled because he was haunted, like being the grandson of Malcolm X. Sure. Is that something you were supposed to do and he fighting against it? Like, I guess him being young, I probably didn't document that. I wonder. There's just something for me. I'm thinking.
Well, when you read about it, when you read about how it ended up going down, how he ended up going from his mama staying with the grandmother, he was bad. He was just a bad child. He was. He was bad. He was getting into.
I don't think it was so much he was a bad child. The mother had trauma dealing with her dad's death. Mm-hmm. And I think she kind of spiraled out. And it might have been a little bit of neglect, and I'm not trying to say that that's true, but nonetheless, I think she has some issues, and I'm not sure if I can remember if it was substance abuse or whatever, but she has some issues. And Malcolm was acting out, and Dr. Betty did take him. And of course, you can't take somebody out the wilderness and expect them to be tamed.
Yep, you gotta work. That's gonna be some work.
Absolutely.
I just wonder if he was trying to, from 6 girls, and you finally got this man that you could reincarnate is a strong word, but you know what I'm trying to say?
Because he was looking just like his granddaddy. And when they got ready, they did a photo shoot of him before he got killed. A couple of weeks before he got killed, they did a photo shoot, and it was the one where Malcolm had his finger up, then the one where he had the hat on and he was sitting, like that. So yeah, he was looking just like granddaddy. He really was.
And that's what made me even have that thought process of I wonder if it was trying to come out of him and he was fighting it or didn't know how to deal with it, and so he was acting out. It's just a weird thought.
It was really weird because then he ended up in Mexico and then he ended up thrown from a building.
Yeah, he's in Mexico City.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He was at a bar or something, and I think he got into it or something, and they threw him from the top of the roof down and killed him. And that traveling abroad, I don't know if he was with people or not, but the physical assault on Black people across.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it happens. It was a case that I can't remember the name, and I know we veered off, but it was a young Black guy from the United States. He had just graduated college, and I think he was in Croatia, somewhere in Europe, Greece. I can't remember, but anyways, he asked her why he was taking pictures with a white woman in a bar, and the white guys there got upset. And a fight broke out and they killed him. And the mom and dad was featured on Good Morning America and everything. Of course, those people were tried or not tried, but nothing happened, no justice. So it is a lot of assault on Black people when they travel. Even in the islands where we think Black people, Jamaica and Mexico and the Caribbean, Bahamas, it's still some assault going on us.
Well, it's going to be assault. It's going to be assault because of the way white people have put it out there that Black people are the problem. So, just selling it to the whole world that we the issue, we the problem. It's us. It's Black people. It's the Black people. It's the Black people. So yeah, we have a mark on us. You know what I'm saying? That you take, you can't even go anywhere and try to have a decent time without having to watching your back. Worrying about you in a foreign country, Jamaica, Haiti, whatever, and yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
That's really why we got to see. We have to just. I don't know. Sometimes I don't even know the words to use. It's bad. They just. Granted, I'm horrible with words anyway, but Lord, when you can't find no words, just all you can say is you just.
I mean, because it's like we have to live in a society where we basically are just judged by the color of our skin and nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like Dr. King said, the content of our character, get to know us and know who we are, but you just judge us. Oh, they black, 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 they black. Oh, they black, they black. You know what I mean? And the whole world, man. I mean, it's
Well, it's like Dr. John Henry Clark said, we have no friends in this world.
no.
We do not. So we have to learn to be our own friends and get our community and ourselves tight and just keep it going. So yeah, what Malcolm was with the Nation of Islam, he did bring it to he catapulted the image, the nation out to the world. And of course, there was controversy, which will always be. I think Elijah Muhammad was a little jealous because all the attention and focus was on Malcolm, and his people was dedicated to Elijah Muhammad, and they would do anything that he wanted them to do. And Minister Farrakhan came up through Malcolm. Malcolm was his mentor, so to speak, in the beginning. And it may have been a little jealousy of that. Maybe he wanted that. See, and I love Minister Farrakhan. However, there are no perfect people. Now, I'm not saying he did anything to Malcolm, but he did apologize to the family that his rhetoric at that time may have caused people to harm Malcolm or want to harm him, but he never told anyone to harm Malcolm.
Look, I think, people think about try to compare the Malcolm and Martin Luther King and I think you try to compare the wrong things though when they do. They compare the violent and the non-violent. But why was Malcolm say be violent? Because we can go over there and fight in them wars for everybody else across seas, but we don't want to fight for what's ours here. He's not saying just go out there and just bust people. And if he did, I missed that one. So I missed that on purpose. I picked it. But he didn't say go out there and just bust people upside the head. He said if some shit go down, you better fight for yourself. Don't put yourself in a situation, however. But at the end of the day, both of them, I feel personally, wanted the same thing, just in different ways. Malcolm said, separate yourself from them crackers. Get back to the other side. He was he was extreme Pan-Africanism. And Martin said, I'm going to be here. But he said, if I'm going to be here, you're going to treat me equal. You're going to treat me the way you want to be treated. I'm not finna, and we ain't doing none of that separate but equal because I'm here with you. I'm a man just like you a man. And I feel like nobody put those two together. It's all about the fight that they both had. And it's like we don't even talk about the fact that toward the end of both of their lives, they really start saying, you know what? We should have been together. We should have come together and did something. We should have. You were right.
Separate but equal. Separate but equal.
Yeah, they both congratulated and loved on each other, especially at the end, because Martin started really seeing how economics and politics played into things, while Malcolm said, "Leave that shit alone." He understood that we had to participate in it, and he like, "Oh, how we gonna do this?" So I don't think we talk about the togetherness or the commonality of the two men as much as we talk about how different they were. And even when we teach kids about, I can't even say we teach kids about them because we don't teach kids about them. But even when you talk about them, you talk about the same thing, which was the differences. And it's really, I think, a disservice to their legacy of both of them, especially being that we still live in that same stuff today. Like we're still doing the same things today. We still have to repeat the same powerful quotes today. We still have to are having the exact same fights today. And in the month of May, it's like repeating. Forget repeating the past. It is repeating because with that voting rights gone, we're literally having the exact same.
And that's what I was talking to someone the other day, and I said, it's a shame because in the next 20 to 30 years, the voice of Malcolm X or Dr. King, it won't linger on like it's been lingering on, because the fact that he had kids, you know what I'm saying, and they, the wife started with the wife, the kids, you know what I'm saying, I don't know. He does have that one granddaughter. Dr. King have the one granddaughter, but it's so sad that culture, generation, and the way the world is going, 20, 30 years, their voice won't even resonate no more. It won't even resonate.
Well,
I disagree. I think their voices will live forever.
I don't
And
say the way these crackers try to carry
exactly.
Martin Luther King like that's their best friend.
Yeah, I think their voices will live forever, but it's up to us to make sure their voices live forever. You can't depend on them to do it because they'll shut it down. But Malcolm and Martin, they did come together or had a mutual respect for each other, and they just had was going kind of for the same goal, but it was a different way to reach that goal. And I think it was with Martin's religious aspect, like you had mentioned earlier about that Christianity. He really believed that stuff, and he really thought that appealing to the conscious will do it as opposed to violence. And some it did, some it did not. But Malcolm, I think, was correct because there has been no nation on this planet that ever won its freedom without bloodshed.
That's right.
Mhm.
It just does not happen. Malcolm said, damn that sing and start swinging.
Yep.
By
And
any
he
means
said
necessary.
freedom
'Cause
equals land. He said
Malcolm said, "Cause
every
you
other
slap me,
nation.
I'm gonna slap your ass back." You see
And
what I'm saying?
he never did receive those attacks like Martin did, throwing and
No.
stuff like that. But
So he knew they
unfortunately,
were gonna get their ass whooped.
yeah, but unfortunately, he reached a violent end. But during that time of being that spokesperson, up until the last part of his life, he didn't receive those physical
Mm-mm.
throwing rocks and bricks at him and stuff like Martin did. So they
Mm-mm.
knew, like Minister Farrakhan. Mr. Farrakhan ain't never had those problems. He wasn't gonna play with
Mm-mm.
that.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I think by the time it got to the point where they had burnt the Malcolm's house down, then they knew the end was coming. They knew things were changing. It was getting different. You know what I mean? Because he had the FOI. I mean, the Fruit of Islam. He trained them.
Yeah, but they
You
broke
know?
away.
Yeah, they broke away.
He
Yeah,
left
they broke
because he
away.
started his own, and
Right.
so he was receiving death threats and hurt and harm from them as well as from the United States government. So he
Exactly.
knew that his time was coming. He even told Alec Haley, because Alex Haley wrote his autobiography along with Dr. King. And
Mm-hmm.
so during those last few years or months of his life, describing the book, Alex would talk about how Malcolm knew that it was near.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just so nervous and tense and anxiety, and he just wasn't himself. The pressure was on him, especially after he was bombed out his house. He didn't have anything. He was
Didn't have nothing.
he had nothing.
Just like
And
Dr. King didn't have anything.
right. And but Malcolm didn't have a lot of wealthy or entertainers to embrace him like Dr. King did, because again, Harry Belafonte came to the rescue of the family. But what his daughter said, what a lot of people didn't know, when Malcolm did that interview with Mike Wallace, I think on 60 Minutes, they were pretty good friends. And Mike Wallace helped take care of their family after.
And Nina Simone did too.
After Malcolm died, Mike Wallace, who is Jewish or was Jewish, he's dead now.
Mm-hmm.
He helped take care of Malcolm's family.
Yep. Nina Simone did a whole lot until she just made up her mind that being in America wasn't for her anymore, and then she moved away. Then of course but she did a lot for them as well.
And it's also important to note that when you mentioned Dr. King and Malcolm were maybe trying to come together towards the end, but their wives did. Coretta, Dr. Betty, and Merle Evers, they was thick as thieves.
Yes, they were.
He brought them together because they're the first ladies of the movement.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful picture.
Medgar Evers' wife, Miss Evers, she's still alive. She's still alive.
She's 90, I think.
She just had a birthday. Yep.
There's a picture. I want to see if I can find it, but it's at the walking down the hallway at my daughter's school because she goes to Coretta Scott King. But there's a picture of those three ladies with the most genuine laugh and smile on their face. Like, how some pictures you see and it's like, oh, that's staged. This picture is one of the most genuine, beautiful pictures. Let me see if I can find it online somewhere and put it up. I wonder if that's something from the family, because the family did start with that school. I wonder. Something to think about.
Because I mean, and then a lot of times I'll be just laying and watch TV or just chilling or whatever, and I say to myself, will we ever have another Coretta Scott King? Will we ever have another Betty Shabazz? Coretta Scott King? Will we ever have another Betty Shabazz? Will we ever have another Murley Evers? It make you wonder, would that ever? I mean, I know I won't be here to see it, but I'm just saying, will that ever?
I think we will. I really think it might be a while, but I think we will, especially with what's going on right now. And you see all these young people stepping up. Because, I mean, if Stacey Abrams were married, I think we would have a Mr. Abrams right now because that mug, she's out there. She's doing big things and she's opening her mouth. I'm scared for her sometimes, the way she be talking. So I really do think in the near future we will have some more of those people. Because people are tired.
Well, it has to be after they resolve all the reality shows. Housewife, this, that, the third, whoop, whoop.
The house, I think those reality shows
they need to resolve all of that
right now.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna do that. We're gonna stick with Malcolm.
Yeah.
But I think it's wrong to think that we'll never have another one. No, of course you're never gonna have another Coretta, another Murley, another Dr. Betty. But you will have who you have. Because it's not necessarily about those people. It's that energy and passion and spirit that's still here. And that can rest on anyone. But we also left out Winnie Mandela. What a woman. She had the same tenacity, the same fight, same energy, same spirit as they did. So we can't leave her out. She's the first lady of the world. Of the planet.
Yeah.
They're the first ladies of the movement here, but she's the first lady of the global movement.
Yeah, we did leave her out. Sorry about that, sister. But yes, right. Well, I really do think that there's gonna be some more coming up. We took a break, like we said like I said in the last show. I think after 1965, 68, we felt accomplished, and so that people rested. They wanted to enjoy what all these people have fought for. And we just got a little too comfortable. And now we got, our comfortability has been pulled from up under us. So that same type of fight, that same grit and tenacity is going to have to come out. It's not going to come from a millennial or Gen Z. It's going to come from a Gen Z or an Alpha. Because they're the ones that is really going to affect. Because we about to croak over in a minute, so it's really going to affect.
Damn, do you have to say it like that? I mean, you got to speed that thing up.
I was thinking the same thing. Well, damn, let me make sure my bill is together, my insurance is paid up, and when you go to the doctor, they talk about your what is that they called it? I wouldn't do it. It was
a directive.
No, well, yeah, sort of, kind of. I can't call the name of it, but it's where you can't make decisions for yourself medically.
Yeah, and then your family
medical directive.
Yeah, you want to assign somebody to it. So Shakira just like, well, damn.
And then I did, but then no, I'm sitting here looking at her, and I'm like, Miss 42, and I'm sitting up here about to be 62, and she gonna tell me, we be gone at 42, girl. What?
Well, I would. Okay, in the next 25, 30 years. I just don't think a millennial is going to be the one. You know what? They got Gary Chambers. So wait a minute. He just turned 40.
He just turned 40. And then you have the Justin Pearson in Memphis and Justin Jones in Nashville. So we have some men that are,
might be some older millennials then. Okay, so yeah. I'm in the middle millennial. So an older millennial might be the one that start this thing off. And let Gen Z and Alpha take over because they're the ones going to be like truly affected. Right. I'll stitch it in here, but there's a little boy in Louisiana. He's 16 years old. He started a movement. His name is Justin or Jonathan or something like that, but I'll stitch it in here.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to answer this, but how old are you?
16 years old.
I commend you for coming here today and having the courage to testify before this committee.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, chairs and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Josiah Hardy. I'm a sophomore at LSU Laboratory School. I'm the founder and director of an initiative I created, Project 2028, that promotes civic edu-action and voting literacy among teens. And I also come to you today as a 16-year-old in Louisiana. I come to you as a 16-year-old who does not want to stay in Louisiana because of bills like 116, 121, and 130. These have diluted the voice of African Americans and doesn't allow us to see us in Congress. As an African American myself, I want to hold political offices in the future, but I cannot do so if my voice is diluted in a community that does not like me. I cannot do so in a community that does not want to see me thrive or see my people thrive. So I move away in hopes to have my voice heard and have my voice communicated and effectively enough so I can become the young black man that I need to be in the competitive society that it is. I am in favor of Senate Bill 407 because it allows my people to have the voice that we haven't had in many years. The fact that we are still having to sit here in 2026 and fight for our right to vote and our right to have voices in Congress is a problem. It's a problem that we all face and we all need to wake up to in Louisiana. And if you want to plan for the future, then you need to allow the future to be a part of your planning. Thank you.
But he spoke on the floor in Louisiana at 16 years old talking about like, y'all for real, like this is racist, this is wrong, and we never going to get anywhere until we acknowledge that. And he said it so poignantly, so powerful, and no stuttering. I'm like, that baby gonna go somewhere. He had already started a political organization within the school. He's the founder of it at 16. So I think that's going to be the generation that really makes a difference. They're going to be the ones that's compared to Martin and Malcolm and John Lewis and all that. They're going to be the ones that do it.
Yeah.
And I think for us that are here now, we need to be feeding into those babies. We need to be educating them. Well, hell, they probably educating us, but we need to be, loving on those because they're going to be the ones to make a difference. So that for me, when I'm 80 years old and I go and vote again at 80, it's for the second and third person that looks like me that's out there because these babies went out there and fought and did they thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be some that are gonna come up through the ranks that are gonna they're aware now. They know what's going on. A lot of them are waking up and they're aware. And I'm the last of the baby boomers. 64 is the last year of the baby boomers. So in the next 20 to 30 years, give or take, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Yeah, we will be gone because my mom is like 44. She 81 today. You know what I'm saying? So from 44 to 64 is the baby boomers. So yeah, next 20, 30 years, we out of here.
But also look at this where you have mentioned the age 42, 62, 63. What a blessing to 81 to be there. Malcolm and Martin and Medgar,
39.
They didn't make 40.
Nope.
They didn't make 40.
They did.
They truly didn't. So you're right. I think the younger generation, we're paving the way for them, which is where it's supposed to go. And it's up to them to choose their fight.
Yes, because Dr. King's daughter is going to be heavy. She's going to be heavy, but she only like 16, 17. So, you know what I mean? I'll be getting old and might not whatever. But yeah, she got the gift. She got the gift, the gab. She got the gift, the gab. Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy. Baby girl voted for the first time Friday. And I just cried like, at 18, I went voted. I ain't know no better. Mm-hmm. It's like, we know better now. I don't think I voted the first time until I was like 25, 26. And I just did it because it was something I was supposed to do. I didn't know. And the sad part for me is I think that's the same thing she did. She said, who am I supposed to vote for? And what really got me is she said, and why? Because the other kids that I talked to at her school, that I said, make sure y'all go vote. They was like, all right, just tell me who. And I'm like, y'all have to make that decision. But again, I was telling them who. But she asked why. And I'm like, okay, so it's not going to take her long to get it.
Mm-hmm.
it's great that we have been with Confident Woman the last 10 years, and she knows the importance of voting. She knows that we have to go out and do it, but she asks why, and that just meant the world to me. Like, you want to know. Um, and I feel some kind of way now with everything that's going on in Alabama because she's about to get ready to go to school in Alabama. If I would have known, we wouldn't have committed. We committed now, but she's getting ready to go to school in Alabama. So I'm about to go through the hard time of trying to explain Alabama politics while still trying to say, well, you're still a resident in Georgia, so November you got to come home and you got to vote here. But she still has to know Alabama politics, being that she's going to be there.
Right.
Yes, we need to separate um, church and state, but they were in Alabama, so ain't no separating the church and state down there at all.
And one thing I have to say for myself, baby, I would have been down with Malcolm. I'm sorry. I love Dr. King. I love everything he stood for. But I would have been, I'm sorry, I would have had to get on this side.
You would have been down. Yeah, you would have been fighting. You would have been, they ain't even got to say nothing. I'm ready to fight. Let's go, Malcolm.
You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, knock them out, knock them upside the head. Because, I mean, I think white people just take the privilege of being white and they know they can just run amok and just do whatever it is they want to do. Yeah, but yeah.
I don't even think it's that. I think they're just scared. And because they're scared of our power, who we could be, if we knew we could be, is great. If we could be as great as the fear of us in their heads, I think it would be a totally different world. Forget a country. And the fact that they keep putting their foot on us, it keeps us down. And they say, great, they don't know. Or great, they can't see what we took from them. They can't see it. So I don't know if they just keep practicing their white privilege, because they do it. I think they're just freaking scared. And they have to keep us with their foot on our neck to keep us in check.
Absolutely. Kind of put your mind of the ISIS papers. What Dr. Frank Kreslin was talking about. About they fear us because we are the one thing that can destroy them. That's that black male penis. Because
that's what she said.
and I think that's what it is. But you had mentioned we were talking about the youth and the millennium, Gen Zs, and so forth. You have anybody heard of Frantz Fanon? Frantz Fanon is a deep brother. Got the book Wretched Planet. I think he was a black psychologist from Jamaica, but he has a quote, and it's so poignant. He says, "Each generation must, out of relatively obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it, or betray it." Each generation must discover. Each generation.
That they have to do
we were guinea pigs. We figured out internet and phones all on us. So we did our part.
He say fulfill it or betray it. So if they can't see the battle that's continuing and ongoing from Dr. King and beyond up until now and Malcolm X, and they let it die, then they betrayed it.
That's on them, yeah.
They betrayed it because the struggle is real. Do not let these integration, these so-called handkerchief head Negroes and these liberals fool you, and Stephen A. Smiths and Candace Owens them and all the rest of the clowns. Do not let them fool you. These people do not care about you, never have, never will. You care about yourself, and you learn about yourself and do for yourself. The hell with
that's what we do. And it's about, we got to get back out into the community. You know, we have to engage with the community. You know, I know a lot of people, that's not their thing. That's not their forte. But, you know, engaging with the community and just, you know, talking to different ones and finding out, you know, what they're going through and their issues and, you know, this person going through, you know, just being able to have that interchange. You know what I mean? And be out there and know what's going on and be able to talk positive and give, good information. You know what I mean? That's what we have got to learn to do more of. I get it. Everybody want to lead. Everybody want to lead. I'm cool with following, but in order to lead, you got to know how to lead. Everybody can't lead. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that be the problem, and that be the end of a lot of organizations and nonprofits and stuff, because everybody want to be in the front, but everybody wasn't born with that in the front. So sometimes you got to get in the middle or get to the back. But we as Black people, we got to organize. We got to organize strongly, not just for Saturday night or for Friday night, girls' night out or whatever. We got to organize, and we got to be consistent when we do this. We got to put into play some things that, that will be here 20, 30, 40 more years going forward. NAACP will always be here, but a lot of people have lost a lot of respect for NAACP because they don't do the things like what they used to. I know they still do, but not like what they used to. We need strong organizations.
The times change, so the things that they brought back in the 50s and 60s, that changed a little bit, so they recentered their focus, and that's fine. But I think we are doing it. We have to keep the story alive. Mm-hmm. We cannot let the fire die. Mm-hmm. And if we let the fire die, then that's our fault. But we have to keep the blaze of the fire going. And keep it in the community amongst ourselves. But we cannot dismiss education. Now, I know a lot of people are not into school or what have you, and that's fine. You don't have to go to the university and get the degrees and the PhDs and the DDDs and all this other, but there's still educational school lessons you can get, technologies, trades, things of that nature to keep it going. Here, I told you guys before, ladies before, Metro Detroit, the Arabs got it on lock. Mm-hmm. I've been trying to get some pants altered. I can't find not one Black seamstress or tailor. It's the Arabs, and they jacking your stuff up. So there's some, I just got to do my due diligence to find them in social media in Detroit. Some of the Black tailors and seamstresses, because there's some bad designers out there that know their stuff.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, I know on my page I got some designers in Detroit.
But so that's what we have to stay focused. And what we have done or cannot do, we cannot let our analysis of the situation cause paralysis. Because that analysis is gonna cause the paralysis, and we're gonna give up. You know what paralysis means? Don't move. You're not moving.
Mm-hmm. Frozen.
Yeah, we just got to find consistency. We have to find people that are interested and that have a passion for it. You know what I mean? Because if you don't have a passion for anything that you're doing, you're not going to stay focused. You're not going to stay with it. You have to have a passion for wanting to be engaged in the community and wanting to get information out. Just have to find just got to connect with the right people. That's all.
Mm-hmm. In the meantime, we can't dismiss the people that's just going to dwiddle their toes in. Because they'll come back. But we can't dismiss those people because we need something from them, and apparently they need something from us. That's why they showed up. But consistency, which is me and that helper, is still we working together. We've been doing good, but me and that helper consistency, you really need that consistency and patience. The two things and like you said, education is the key. Mm-hmm. Remembering that they put things in books so that we can't find it.
Right.
Yes, we have YouTube University, and it is amazing. You can find so much on YouTube.
Yeah.
However, you're gonna have to still do some reading. You're gonna have to, even if you pull up an article, you're gonna have to sit down and read it. We can listen to these things. We need to get the transcripts, and we need to read it so we can internalize these things. Like for me, a lot of my refreshing for today's show is I literally took speeches and I took the transcript and I read them because I could hear it, but as I'm listening to it, I'm doing 50 things. But if I see the words and see them put together, it connects in a whole different way. Right. They are going to put things in writing so we can get it.
Yeah, Malcolm X said education is the passport of the future. So you have to become educated. And again, it's not about the degree or paper on the
Right.
wall, but it's
Right.
about informing yourself. Let
Mhm.
yourself
Mhm.
become knowledge. And that's what Malcolm did. He didn't go to college, he didn't go to the university, but Malcolm spoke at the universities across the world.
Mhm.
Yes, he did.
Malcolm spoke to leaders,
Yes,
kings,
he
and
did.
queens, and
Everybody.
prime ministers
Mhm.
across the world. This little
Mhm.
dropout black boy who the white teacher told he would never
Ellen.
be a lawyer, shot
Mhm.
strings, but look how he rose to prominence.
Mhm.
Mhm. You just gotta sit down and want to do it. You gotta sit down.
Yeah,
Like I think that was last show you put up. You said a quote that people, 90% of people don't even pick up a book after they graduate high school. Pick up something, a pamphlet. Start with a pamphlet. Start with, like, we're on TikTok all the time.
Yeah.
Like for me, if you go on my TikTok feed, 80% of my TikTok feed is learning something. It's a political page, it's a
Yeah.
news page, it's somebody telling history. Take those things, listen to them, and get those names and go look those names up for those people that they're talking about.
absolutely.
Learning doesn't have to be something formal. And I think that's the disconnect as well when we talk about education and learning, is that people feel like it has to be something formal, and it really doesn't. It's about
Absolutely.
taking 20 minutes a day to read something new. It's about saying, this month I'm going to learn about this. And I take time every day to learn something new about it and then put it
Absolutely.
into play.
Absolutely.
I mean, they have
Malcolm,
things like Udemy. Udemy is one of my favorite places. Go on Udemy, pay $20 for a class, however long you're gonna take to do it. Get that little piece of paper at the end, take that, but you learned something.
Yeah.
you know what Malcolm did? Malcolm picked up the dictionary in prison and started reading. And that
Mm-hmm.
first word that he talked about was that old aardvark. He had never heard of aardvark, but he picked up that dictionary, which is an anteater. So he
Mhm.
learned something. You can use the dictionary. Start out with that. The dictionary.
Look, pick up a bottle of shampoo. Like people, there how many words in your everyday life you have no idea what it is.
They have no idea what it means. Mhm.
Look, if we did that, we probably wouldn't eat half the stuff that we eat now. So be
Which
careful. You
probably
gotta
is a
be ready
good
to
thing.
change. But you got to be ready to make a change. When you know better, you do better.
Absolutely.
And when
But
you want change, change can come. Change can come. You might have to fight for it, but it'll be a struggle, but it'll
look, the
come.
crazy part is sometimes you don't even be ready, and it just jump on you. Be like, wait a minute now, and you got to do something different.
Oh, that's right. All right, Anthony, can you take us out with a quote from Malcolm X or an insert from one of his speeches, or just something so when Tuesday come, we'll know that we celebrating a great man.
Well, I gave several quotes. Chicago, the ballot of the bullet, education's passport of the future, separate yourself from these evil, vile, wicked folks. So those are many, many things. I think the most important thing to get from Malcolm is Black pride. Be
Black pride.
proud of yourself. Never play yourself down. Always hold your head up. Do not let a Eurocentric thought run or control your life. You should be proud of your blackness, your skin you in, and love every drop of it.
Baby.
Like
Malcolm,
I say all
that's
the
how,
time.
that's how he got that X, because he hated that slave named Little.
Right.
And so he's like, it's an X, it's unknown. I don't know what it was. So it's unknown.
Mhm.
So that Malcolm X stuck with him. So that's what the nation instilled in him: Black pride. Be proud of yourself,
Mhm.
love yourself, respect yourself, gain knowledge about yourself, help your people, help your community, and also help humanity,
Have
because
humanity.
that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, we only have one planet to live in. All of
Yep.
us.
Yep.
Mhm.
All of us. Try to live it
Yep.
in peace.
Yeah.
Look, take care of it. And
Brother El Shabazz, Malcolm X. All right
I
now.
say, if you live in Georgia, go vote on Tuesday as well, if you haven't already. Don't let these people voices die and go in vain. Go
I went
vote.
Friday. I was not happy. I'm still not happy, but I went on
What
Friday.
you want?
I'm not happy about the candidates because I just don't feel that the ones that are on they're not for the people. But I did go. I did
Do a
go.
good job. That's what matters. And now we can just put our foot on their neck one day, whoever get in there. It
Yeah.
is what it is. But we went.
I
We
mean, I
talking
was
about
actually at the voting poll and I was coming out, and my great aunt, she texted me. She was like, "Please go vote." And I had to send her the little thing because I had put it on the console, and I took a picture and I sent it to her. I said, "I just did, Aunt Gloria." She was like, "I know
yeah.
you're not happy about the candidates, but," and I know she wanted to ask me so bad, "How did you vote?" I know that's what she wanted to ask.
But at the end of the day, though, we might not be happy with them, but it's better than getting nothing at all, getting the other side.
Well, and
So
like
we never gonna be
I
happy
said,
with them.
like I told, she didn't ask me because I know she wanted to, and I just replied back. I said, I'm not voting Republican, nothing. Okay, you
That
already know
is.
that. You know what I mean? So yeah,
But
yeah,
we might have to, but we have to flip it though. It ain't those
yeah. We have to
true
flip it, right,
Republicans. We have to
right,
have
Yeah.
some Democrats,
right.
independents run as Republicans and vote for them.
Right. And in order for Memphis, like Memphis, my hometown, in order for them to get back on the grid, a lot of them Republicans gonna have to vote Democrat. Otherwise, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And same thing in
Yeah.
Georgia, same thing in Michigan. It's gonna be that a lot of Republicans are gonna have to say, you know what? We gotta vote Democrat this time. We got to. We got no choice.
I wonder if it's gonna flip again.
We'll see. Time.
Granted, it did take over 20 plus years for the initial flip. I wonder if this is the beginning.
You know?
Well, here in
Like
Georgia, we'll know come
we had the
Tuesday.
Dixie Cracks, and let's see what we're gonna have. The Lily White movement, all of that. Let's see how we. It's gonna
Well,
be
come
interesting.
Tuesday in Georgia, we'll definitely know because we
Yeah,
got the governor thing. So,
we're gonna see.
Yes.
all right,
Well,
YouTube
I
land. We
think
just
that wraps us up. Happy
Right. We
birthday,
need to follow up
Malcolm.
with a Pan African show to continue this conversation.
Well,
yeah.
happy birthday, Malcolm.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Malcolm X. Thank you for all your work. Thank you. And we just thank you.
We appreciate you. Good night.
Peace out.